The recently released Bodycam footage captures the tragic moments surrounding King Von's death, documenting the events leading up to the shooting and the chaotic aftermath as bullets flew. Alongside the release of additional footage, a viral tweet has sparked widespread attention, claiming that Von made it through his 2 surgeries and woke up screaming for his firearm, but he went into shock and passed. He had only 1 more surgery to go. According to the tweet, these emotional details came from a close member of his team known as FF.
And Von made it through 2 surgeries. He had 3 surgeries, so he made it through 2 surgeries. And then after the second surgery, he hopped off the bed and started fighting the nurse and said where his foot at, and he went into the shop. So he was making 2 surgeries. How hours later, Taylor knows he fought the nurse. He the one told me that. His mama didn't even know that. How do you know what's going on inside the hospital? That because she was here at the hospital.
But what many may not realize is that rappers had hinted at this tragic outcome long before it happened. On November 5th, 2020, King Von and his crew were preparing to head to a club in Atlanta to celebrate the release of his album, a night meant to mark a major milestone in his rising career. It was supposed to be a joyful celebration of his life and success, but tragically, it would become one of his last. Growing up in the dangerous streets of O Block, Von was no stranger to the risks of being in the public eye, especially with known enemies. Taking no chances, he rolled out with a crew of over 20 members spread across 8 vehicles to ensure his safety. Even his manager, 100K Track, later spoke about the extreme precautions Von took to protect himself that night.
I traveled with 1 security that moves with Von, and he traveled with 2 more security. You know what I'm saying? Von traveled in a crew truck, and not only that, his guys are security, man. He traveled with 10 to 15 guys daily. They protect and love Von more than any security will. We're like 8, 10 cars deep, 20, 25 on the road.
However, as the night wore on, something shifted. Von began acting out of character, making decisions that would ultimately put his life in jeopardy. While the celebration inside the club had gone smoothly, everything seemed to be going according to plan. By around 2:30 in the morning, Von and his crew started making their way out of the venue, preparing to head back to their Airbnbs to call it a night. But unbeknownst to the rest of the group, Von had different plans.
Everybody mind leaving the club is that we're going to hotel in Airbnb. So that's normal routine. The club he went to, the after hours wasn't getting paid for it, and I have no acknowledgement of his team. They have no acknowledgement of it. That was the complete Von decision.
As the rest of the crew made their way to the Airbnb, Von gave his driver a different set of instructions. He wanted to head to another spot, the Monaco Lounge. Word had spread online that Quando Rondo and his crew were at the venue, and Von E was eager to check it out for himself. Without informing the rest of his team, he made the spontaneous decision to divert from the original plan, setting the stage for a confrontation that would change everything.
Everybody else that was with us driving to the Airbnb, and Von literally went to the venue by himself. We got a call later from people in the car, like, hey bro, we here by, matter of fact, I think the DJ was like, hey bro, we here by ourselves, like, where you guys at? And everybody rerouted to that venue.
Unfortunately, the others riding with Von didn't inform the rest of the crew about the change in plans until they had already arrived at the Monaco Lounge. It was only then that the rest of the team realized Von had gone off course, prompting them to rush to the new location in an attempt to protect him. According to 100K Track, Von's manager, something felt off that night. Von wasn't his usual self. Instead of being upbeat and vibing with everyone, he was unusually quiet, keeping to himself in a way that raised concern.
For some reason, Von was, this man is like, I promise you, the best artist I ever moved in my life. For some reason that night, it was off. Like, he stayed in the car for like 30, 35 minutes.
But the real tension unfolded in the parking lot, where Quando Rondo and his crew happened to be parked in the same area as Von. Reportedly, Quando and his team were trying to get some rest in their vehicle when one of Von's crew members spotted them and quickly informed Von of their presence. What happened next would escalate the situation beyond anyone's control.
I went to the car he was in. I was like, yo, Von. Went inside the passenger seat. I was like, yo, Von, bro, what's going on? Everybody here, wait, let's go. He was like, all right, let's go. We're telling security, hey, it's time to go in now. Von's ready. You know what I'm saying? We've been here too long. Let's go inside. Check the venue, go inside, check the outside, make sure there's no...
Almost instantly, King Von jumped out of his truck and made his way toward Quando Rondo's vehicle, determined to confront him. Despite his team urging him to calm down and avoid causing a scene, Von was unfazed. He approached the front of Quando's white SUV and without hesitation began swinging on him, escalating the situation within seconds.
Now, right before we go inside the club, one of his homeboys came to the car and said, hey, so-and-so's here. And Von just jumped up like, oh, come on, let's go.
King Von quickly gained the upper hand in the brawl, overpowering Quando Rondo and bringing him to the ground. But within moments, Quando's friend, Lil Tim, emerged from behind the white SUV with a firearm in hand. Without hesitation, he opened fire, striking Von multiple times and hitting Von's manager once in the leg. The chaos erupted in seconds. In response, members of Von's crew drew their own weapons and fired back at Lil Tim, hitting him and causing him to collapse just a few feet away. As the gunfire echoed through the streets, off-duty police officers nearby rushed to the scene in an attempt to defuse the situation. However, instead of restoring order, their arrival only added to the chaos, with some officers reportedly firing their weapons and taking out a few more members of Von's crew. Amid the mayhem, King Von lay on the ground with Quando Rondo beside him. While some witnesses claimed that Quando was trying to snatch Von's chains, Von's manager believes that Von was actually holding on to Quando, using him as a shield, in a desperate attempt to protect himself from the barrage of gunfire.
Jumped out the car. By the time Von jumped out the car, I don't even think he knew where so-and-so was. He just jumped out the car. He bumped into so-and-so. As soon as he bumped into so-and-so, started brawling.
As for the rumors about Quando Rondo trying to snatch Von's chain, Von's manager later addressed the speculation, offering a different perspective. Was he trying to take Von's chain? Honestly, I don't even think Von had any jewelry on, he said. According to those who were closer to the scene, Von was actually holding on to Quando tightly, not in a scuffle over jewelry, but as if to say, "You're not going anywhere. You're staying right here." Even while wounded and under fire, Von's strength was apparent. He was literally holding onto Quando with a grip that showed just how intense the moment truly was.
And was he trying to take Von's chain, or? Honest truth, I don't think he really had no jewelry on, and from the people that was a little closer, Von was actually holding onto him, and you ain't even know it. You hear, like, even through getting that strong, like he was literally holding him.
As the off-duty officers quickly pulled away from the scene, both Von's crew and Quando Rondo's team followed suit, clearing the area. The focus immediately shifted to saving King Von's life. Member Mu rushed into the street, lifted Von, and carried him to their getaway vehicle. Despite being hit 4 times, Von remained conscious in the car. Those with him in the vehicle later recalled that Von kept everyone calm, maintaining a positive attitude and reassuring them that he would be okay, even in the midst of the chaos.
When he was in the car, I myself wasn't there. The gentleman that was in the car with him was panicking, and Von was the one that was like, "Hey, calm down, slow down, chill, I'm gonna be good." Went to the hospital. And honest truth, we all thought that the way he was carrying himself from that incident, and what I was told from the people in the car, that he would be fine.
King Von was rushed into the operating room, where he underwent 2 surgeries in an attempt to save his life. He initially made it through the procedures, but unfortunately, he went into shock and passed away. New reports reveal that Von survived the surgeries, but after waking up, he began searching for his firearm, the same one that Boozy had mentioned earlier. Tragically, it was in that moment that his condition took a turn for the worse, and he ultimately passed away.
Like you said, King Von situation. Like there was absolutely no reason for Von to be going around with that dude. Like,
there was no, especially since he had security. Like, you know, someone should have jumped in. It should never even. I almost feel like, but I almost feel like if you have real security.
I feel like they would have been more ready and
Sad, man. Sad. I mean, the whole King Von thing is really
man.
for everyone right now.
That f***ed me up, bro. I like King Von.
The news of King Von's passing sent shockwaves through the rap industry. Known for being one of Chicago's most fearless and dangerous street figures, Von's death, especially at the hands of a beef with another rapper, seemed almost impossible to fathom. His reputation as a tough and untouchable figure made the tragedy even harder for many to comprehend.
Made national headlines as officials confirmed one of the three people think was rapper King Von from Chicago, who was here last night with friends.
Two groups of individuals got into a physical altercation. That physical altercation escalated into an exchange of...
Things in O Block changed drastically after Von's passing. While members of O Block simply wanted to honor him with a mural, they found themselves constantly on edge, aware of the heightened tensions and dangers surrounding them. The atmosphere had shifted, and even the act of paying tribute to Von became a situation where caution was needed.
Check it out. I was walking over here and see this Levant picture. I know it's a lot of options. I'm running out to see where I'm at.
Why is this black truck still right here? Man. Play, watch that truck. Watch that truck right there.
Lil Tim, a member of Quando Rondo's team, survived his injuries at the same hospital where King Von was treated. Although he was initially charged in connection to Von's death, he went through multiple bond hearings and court dates. Ultimately, his lawyer argued that he acted in self-defense, and the court found in his favor, dismissing the case against Tim, also known as Mr. Leaks, before he was ever formally indicted. However, Von's closest friends knew something had to be done. In the months that followed, tensions escalated, culminating in a high-profile hit on Quando Rondo's crew at a gas station.
Now the search is on for three people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath.
The hit on Quando Rondo's crew at the gas station resulted in the tragic loss of his close friend, Lil Pav. News outlets captured the moment Quando found out, showing him grappling with the same intense pain that Von's crew had experienced just 2 years earlier. The loss hit him hard, mirroring the heartbreak and grief that had shaken Von's circle in the aftermath of his death.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
This crime has now led to Lil Durk being locked up, as the feds believe they can prove he ordered the hit on Quando Rondo's crew. They point to several incriminating lyrics like, "They like Durk, he's a singer. He won't do something. You can believe whatever you want, I got your folks hit," as evidence. Even more damning, Durk appears to reference Quando's reaction at the scene in his feature, On Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy, where he raps, "Look on the news and see your son screaming, 'No, no.'" Meanwhile, Quando Rondo has tried to distance himself from the street life, seeking peace. Unfortunately, life in O Block hasn't been the same since Von's passing. He was seen as a leader, and since his death, the crew has felt lost, constantly looking over their shoulders, never knowing what the next moment will bring.